dedicated her life. All right. So we have a person who has dedicated her life to helping to find missing and exploited children. And again, this is a topic that's a little bit different than what we normally do with Sunday school, but I really feel it's an important topic for all of us to become more familiar with, particularly as we remember and think about how technology gives people access to our children in ways that they've never had before. And our children, because they are still learning and growing and developing, they don't see all the tricks and the wiles of the enemy. And so this conversation today is to help us become more familiar so that we can provide as much protection as we can for our children and to give them also an understanding. So today, we have a very fine sister who I appreciate. She makes me laugh sometimes, but she'll also pull my coattail too. This is Sister Donna Green. She has been with the True Church for about 40 years, and she works every day to find her missing son, Raymond. Raymond was just 5 days old when he was abducted from her Atlanta home more than 4 decades ago. Over the years, Donna Green, this mother of 7, has turned her pain into strength. She created her own nonprofit called the Raymond Green International Outreach and now helps guide other families searching for their loved ones. Sister Green says it is her life mission, in addition to serving God, to speak out for the voiceless and walk in the footsteps for those who don't yet understand their path. To expand her media footprint, Sister Green founded JAG Media, Just Ask God Media, and interviews families involved in cold cases. As the mother of a long-term missing child, she knows how challenging it can be to get media attention. Sister Green says her devotion to God has guided her through her journey, and she feels blessed with the love of her family. She is the proud grandmother of 11 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. Sister Green's story will be featured in the upcoming podcast season of Inside Crime with Angeline Hartman. Sister Green hopes that the passionate Crime Con audience can help invigorate the search for Raymond and finally bring her home. Sister Green was, bring him home, my apologies. Thank you for that correction, family. Sister Green is perhaps a little too modest to let you all know about the many awards and recognition that she's received over the years. And I got a chance to see that actually Sister Green is a little bit of a bigwig. And I thought, wow, and she humbles herself to be a member of a church with a peon as a pastor. In other words, I'm just recognizing that she could choose to be at so many other places, but she chooses to call Words of Life her church home. Will you help me in welcoming and making Sister Green feel comfortable in her own home? Sister Green.
Thank you, Pastor. I really appreciate that, and I'm so thankful. First, I want to give honor to the Spirit of Christ and to Bishop and all of the elders, the holy elders, and the minister here and his wife, and my pastor and his wife and family. I thinking about coming here today to be able to talk to you all, I was very excited. Not excited because of the content of what I want to talk about. My excitement comes to the fact that maybe I can give you some information that could possibly save your life. So I was excited about the opportunity to be here to talk to you. First of all, I want to talk. Let's start off talking about stranger danger. Stranger danger a lot, and but what is stranger danger? When we tell our little children don't talk to strangers, suppose the child is missing, got lost in the mall. Who is the stranger? Who, if he can't talk to a stranger, who he gonna talk to? Who she's gonna talk to? So we got to talk to our children and let them know if you in a mall or if you've been somewhere where you're lost, then you would go to someone like a police officer. Or what about a parent? A parent with a child, would that be someone safe to go to, you think? Or maybe a clerk with the ID on her or something. Because when we tell the kids don't go to strangers, stranger danger, it goes both ways. But we got to be able to tell them who to go to if it get to that point where they are lost in the mall or they are lost somewhere. Who to go to that will be a stranger but possibly help, because we all know that strangers are everybody that we don't know, but it's some of the ones that we don't know to help us when we, even as adults, when things happen to us or we in certain situations, we could go to someone that's a stranger to help us. So we got to teach our children, and that's something that we got to take out our time and do. We have to teach our children, okay, yeah, we got the vans, the white vans, look out for them and all that. That's a very, very small portion of what to look out for. But we have to give them all the tools that they need. And if by chance they're in a, because I know we say, okay, well, my children are not gonna always be around me and all that. That's fine. But there may be a time when they're in a position where they gotta ask somebody for help. Then what we do is we talk to them and tell them who to ask for help and who not to ask for help. And also we want to teach our children, especially the young ones, but some of the older ones too, just because you see mom and dad talking to this person and laughing with this person, when mom and dad is not around, that don't give you the opportunity to do it, because a lot of times the adoption from strangers is a very, very small percent. Most for somebody that we know, somebody that you done seen around. And I tell the children all the time, when you outside, every time you walk out the door, every time you walk out the door, a pedophile already done put their eyes on you. They already done put their eyes on our kids. Time they walk out the door, somebody done already put their eye on our kids. All they need is an opportunity. We don't want to give them one. So we got to have those conversations with our kids, the tough conversations, the conversations that we don't want to have because we tell them, oh, don't talk to strangers. And then we're so comfortable with the fact that we're going to have our children with us all the time, and they don't get to go here and they don't get to go there and all that. But when they go to their bedrooms and they got their phone, they open the whole world and bring them their whole world into their room. The whole world they bring into their room. And then you have so much going on because they're gaming, and with those games, they have different people out there that's offering them different things for gaming. They'll offer you a game or something to get you to give them some information. What's your name? What's this? Never, ever accept anything from somebody that you don't know. So don't accept friend requests from people that you don't know. It's so many different ways I can go with this, but I want to tell y'all two stories. Two stories. And one of the stories is a 10-year-old little girl who got in trouble in school. And the teacher called her mom. Mom talked to the teacher, mom talked to the young girl and told the young girl that when I get home, I'm going to get you. So the young girl made a decision that she wasn't going home. So what she did was she didn't get on the school bus, walked down to the store, to the gas station, and started asking people for money, telling them that she's part of Katrina, and started asking them for money to get her something to eat. 10 years old, cute little girl. Another story is a 13-year-old girl in the house. She's safe. She's at home. Mom in the living room. They done ate dinner, whatever. She's safe. She's at home. She's in her bedroom and she's online talking to somebody that has been grooming her for a little while. They decide to meet. She goes out, walks straight out the house past mom to go meet this 13-year-old young man that turned out to be a 37-year-old man who adopted her. Took her out of state, put her in the basement, had her chained around the neck, on her arms, and she's just there with her panties on, and he did a whole bunch of things to her that I don't talk about. So what was the scenario on both of those? They made a decision, right? They made a decision. I want to talk to the young people about decisions that we make, because our parents can constantly tell us all the time, don't do this, if you do this, because we want y'all to be safe. But I don't care whether you're 5 or 15, at some point, even when you're in school, when you're away from your parents, when you're in your room, you're making some decisions. That 10-year-old girl made a decision. That 13-year-old girl made a decision. You making decisions that could cost you your life. So when your parents are talking to you and telling you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, I know sometimes it can get to be very annoying that your parents are talking to you. But listen to your parents, because you get to make the decision at school. Somebody tell you, hey, let parents say, when you go to school, don't you go nowhere. You stay in school. Your friends say, hey, come ride with me to the store. Come ride with me to get something to eat. And then you leave out. Okay, so there are situations when they left out and didn't come back. I don't want to go into the graphics of all that, but what I want to push very much is you making decisions, and the decisions that you make could change your life. It could change your life. I was 16. I was a pretty, I didn't listen to my mom a lot. A lot of things mom told me just didn't listen to. I was gonna do it my way. I was a street kid. Growing up in the hood, gonna do what I'm gonna do. But I'm pretty smart. I'm a smart street kid. You can't fool me. 16 years old, I'm not listening to my mom. Who in here 16? Anybody in here 16? What are you doing every day when you're 16? What do you do every day? What do you do? Go to school. Just say that again. Do your jewelry. Okay. She's in school. 16 years old, I'm pushing out a baby. 16. Because I'm not listening. Total different life. That's the life I should have been doing, but I wasn't listening. So now I'm pushing out a baby. So I meet somebody in the hospital that befriends me. She's a nice lady, look like she's pretty much my age, got a beautiful smile, very, very nice. That lady stole my baby. Now, did I know she was gonna steal my baby? No. I trusted her. I thought I knew everything. You can't pull nothing over on me because I'm a street kid. I thought I knew everything. She came, I opened the door, let her in my house, and she walked out with my baby. I didn't know that. Did you know that that person that you said yes to on that gaming, did you know that they was a pedophile? Did you know they was a predator? You don't know that. You don't know that. I didn't know that. And some things that we do now, we pay for just because we young. See, that's my past. They say, oh, you was young, you didn't know. But me being young and not listening cost me my son. That's just real talk. You cannot fix that up. It's real talk. It cost me my son. Some things that you do while you're young and the decisions that you make when you're young, you can't take back. Story, true story. Young man, him and his mom got to arguing over the dishes. 13, 14. He gets mad and walks out the door. Young lady, 14, mama told her she couldn't go to Freaknet. She went anyway. Never showed back up. They found her years later, deceased. These are people I know, their parents and everything. Young man, never found him. Oh, I take that back. Yes, they did. They found him. They found his body. They took his body home and gave it to his mom in bags, just the bones from his body. So what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this stuff that I'm telling y'all, it may be something that y'all don't want to hear. My whole point of telling you this is you got to watch the decisions that you make, because the decisions that you make could cost you. That young lady that went to Florida on Freaknet, I guarantee you for 1 minute, if she had the opportunity, she wished she could have listened to her mom. I know for a fact she wished she could have took that back, the decision that she made. The young man that walked out the house mad, I'm pretty sure he wished he could have changed. Some things we cannot change after we make the decision. Listen to your parents and make the right decisions. Now, I'm going to get back to the other two that I told y'all about earlier. The first little girl, the 10-year-old, what happened to her is one of the people at the gas station went in there and told the attendant that this little girl was out there asking for money, and the attendant called the police. And the police came, and she made it home safe. That was my daughter, Kim. That was my daughter, Kim. Could have been a whole different scenario. Could have been a whole, she made a decision based on, she's determined that she's not gonna get no whooping. She was determined that she went, well, her blood and my blood, we kind of running that together, okay? But she made a decision. Now that thing could have turned out totally different, because she could have went to the wrong person and they could have took her on, and I could have still been looking for Kim today. The other young lady, he took her there, and what he did is he started posting videos of him torturing her, and somebody saw it and she got rescued. And she's talking about her story all the time. And I'm gonna give you the name, so if y'all wanna look up her stories, you can. So what I'm saying is 2 didn't make it back and 2 did. Just by the grace of God that they made it back. Because like I said, every time we go out the door, there's somebody out there. And parents, we got to give our children a safe place to fall. We got to. Because if they're coming to you and they're coming to you to talk to you, okay, so they did something you told them not to do. They put a picture on the internet that they shouldn't have posted on the internet. You didn't told them about it. You didn't warn them. You didn't told them everything that they need to know not to do that. But they're kids. They gonna do some dumb stuff. They're gonna do some dumb stuff, okay? Now, you got one time to get it right. Because once the kid come to you and they try to tell you something and you're not hearing them and you're thinking with your parent mind, what happens is sometimes they disconnect. And when they disconnect, they begin to show you who you think they are, and you really don't know who they are. So when somebody else come telling you who they are, you're saying, that's not my child wouldn't do that. You missed something along the way. My mom and I had a situation when I was 9 years old. And my mama had one opportunity to get that, to respond right, and she didn't. I was 9 years old. From that time I was 9 years old until my mama died, I never went to my mom again crying, never. So then I shut down, because to me, she was saying I didn't matter, because I came to her in tears and she dismissed me or didn't respond the way I needed her to respond, because I was dealing with some trauma. She didn't respond the way I needed her to respond. So I made up in my mind that I was never gonna go to my mom. I never went to my mom again crying, ever. From my son getting missing, to my husband dying, to my sister dying, to my brother, never went to my mom again crying. That one decision at 9 years old, my mom died 20 years ago. I never went back to her crying. I'm saying, parents, we got to give our children a safe place to fall. We got to do that for them. Because if you can't be that person, because I know for a fact that if I do something wrong and I come to some of y'all in here, I come to Pastor Stacy, he's gonna probably scold me, but he's gonna do it in love. And the community is gonna love me back to where I need to be. Why we can't do that to our children? Because it's our children, we can't do that because we come down on them hard because they our children. No, we gotta give them a safe place to fall. And if they can't trust us, who they gonna trust? They ain't gonna be able to go to nobody else. So now you don't see who you really raising. You see a facade. You see the representative of who you raising. You see what they want you to see. You don't really know them, but you had that one opportunity. And us as a community, we gotta love on our children. I love y'all. I look at y'all laughing, talking on your phone. I sit back there and I just watch. I'm an observer. I love y'all. I do. I don't want no stories coming to me about none of y'all, any of y'all. But we got our part to do. The parents got their part to do, just like the children got their part to do. It's all about the decision, because we can't think that because I'm Professor Boyd or Minister Barry, that because these are our children, they won't do it. We don't do that. Don't do that. So when they do come to us, we come down on them because of who we are. And I wouldn't, I did that out of love. We could do that to each other, yeah. So, because we hold these titles and, we in the church, because that's what happened with my daughter, Kim. I didn't hear her. Every time Kim came to me, I didn't hear her. Only thing I wanted is when she came to church, I needed her to look like church people look. The church children look, and act like church children act. I had nothing to help me understand what she was going through, so she rebelled. She rebelled, and she ran away, and she did so many, and that was the first time she ran away, but she did it again and again, because I wasn't hearing her. She had gone through her stuff, and I wasn't hearing her. God covered us, because I could have been crying over her each time she left and I didn't know where she was. But God covered her because she was making some bad decisions. I still wasn't hearing her when she came back. And she trying to tell me. So then all of a sudden she didn't tell me no more. You know what I heard when somebody else told me, well, Kim's doing this and Kim's doing that. And I'm like, she doing what? Or when she come home with a tattoo, or when I got to go up to the school because this, that, and the other. She's crying out. I'm all she got, but I wasn't hearing her. Parents, but you know what? It was because I was in church, and you hear it in the pulpit. You know what the pulpit say. You know this, that. You do this. Do this. You do what I say. So when she was crying out, I missed all of that. And so she had to deal with some things, and she made some decisions that I know she wished she could have took back, and her life could have been a little more easier had I heard her and saw her. I dealt with children every day because I worked in addiction. I dealt with children every day, but when I came home, I did all that, but I left that undone. So parents, we got to give our children a safe place to fall. And children, you got to trust your parents enough to know the only reason why they're telling you what they're telling you is because they want you to be safe. They want to keep you safe. It's nothing else. What other reason? It's the love that we have for you. We don't want nothing to happen to you. We know it's the bad people out there. We know it's the bad people on the internet. We know all of this. If we say don't do this and you do it and create a situation, that's something we have to deal with, but now we're frustrated because we told you not to do it. We told you this. We give you this information not to do it. Don't go on these social sites, because a lot of time it ain't no kids on there. Them pedophiles. They pedophiles. And they put these pretty pictures up of this cute little girl that's the same age you is, They talk to you, and if you mad at mom, they understand. Whatever's going on, they understand. They become your best friend. You don't mind being in the room 4, 5, 6 hours because they become your best friend. Everything you're going through, they understand. One young lady was online with this 13-year-old for months. He knew all of the schedules and everything, and one time she told that she was going to, the parents was getting ready to go to a game or whatever, a baseball game, I think it was. She told him that that was going to happen a day or two before. He flew in and kicked her door in and took that little girl. So what I'm saying to you is, it's some hard things out there. It's some hard things out there that we don't want to talk to our children about. And children, it's some hard things out there that you don't want to talk to your parents about because you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know what they're going to do, because a lot of times when we go to our parents and we tell them something, it shuts us down a little bit more. Like now, since I told my parent that, now I can't even do this. I already can't do this, this, and this. Now I done came to them and told them something that was going on with me. Now they done shut me down some more. So now I can't do this, 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 and this. What do you think them children gonna do? They're gonna rebel. They're going to find other ways and other outlets because you're closing them in. We can't do that to them. And at the same time, we as a community, we got to love on them, because if they can't come to you, but they'll come to Paul. But that's got to be okay if that's their safe place to fall. We got to give them somewhere to fall. And if by chance you have, let's just say you have put something on the internet that you shouldn't have put on the internet, talk to your parents about it. And I know they say once it's on the internet, you can't do nothing about it. It's just on the internet. Some of that stuff, it can be taken down. We just got to get the right people involved to get it taken down, and they can get involved. Now, I know as parents, we think our children would never do this. They know better. They do it. I know parents of church children that have done it. Our children aren't such saints that they're still children. At the end of the day, they're still children. And we got to give them that little bit in our head so we won't react harsh and hard. And now they can't do this and now they can't do that, because they're dealing with so much in school. It's 1, 2 of you, thousands in school that they're dealing with every day. Then they got to come home to you, and the only thing you can offer them if they make a mistake or do something wrong is harshness. Who they going to go back to? They're going to go back to the ones that hear them, that understand. That's why a lot of the young men go to the drug dealers and go to because they understand. We struggling with our children, I get that. But you got the pedophiles out there, and they hire people, young people in the schools now to solicit and get your children. So what they do, they'll come to school and they'll be your friend. And all they're trying to do is traffic you, young children in schools. So that's what I'm saying. We got to figure out how to get our children to listen, to understand, to pay attention, and to see some things that others may not see. Because not only can this help you, you may be able to help somebody else, because somebody may be telling you, hey, look, I'm talking to this guy on the phone, online, girl, he's so fine, he got the 6-pack and all this here stuff, and he's so fine, when this dude is 50-some years old. You don't know that. But because you have this information, you may be able to tell that young lady, you might not need to be talking to that young man, because it's probably not who you think it is. You might be able to help somebody else just by listening to this information. So you got to pay attention. Pastor, is it okay, the time? Okay. You got to pay attention to what's going on. And my heart go out to a lot of things that I'm hearing now and that I'm seeing. And I think about y'all, I do. Sometimes I lay in the bed and I think about y'all. I see y'all faces in my head when I lay in the bed, and I'm thinking, I hope they getting the right information or whatever, because it's so easy. I've been friends with somebody for 20, 30 some years. She's been walking with me through my journey. We've been friends. She knew when my baby got missing. We've been friends that long. Now her child is missing. Her child is missing. I just did a spotlight for her child not too long ago. She never thought that she would be in this shape. And then you're talking about teenagers. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about when you go to work. Now our child ain't got a job. They working at Checker. They doing their own thing. Listen to your parents. If your parent tell you, I'll pick you up, don't jump in the car with somebody that said that they was going to take you home. They're going to take you home. Because I know when you start working, now all of a sudden you feel like you're grown. You're making your own money. You're doing all that. But still allow your parents to have some kind of covering over you as to tell you, because I know young ladies that went to work, never showed back up at home, and these are years later and the parents still looking for them. Okay, so even when you start working, because I know we all want to go to work and we all want that independence, that's important to us and we're supposed to have that. But this world that we living in now, you gotta have somebody. We as adults need to tell everybody when we're going somewhere. We do, because we don't know, you know? So you gotta have that. I had a parent call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. They got my number. Child was online. And she disappeared. She was online and she disappeared. And this mom called me crying. Now they found her daughter. Daughter was 13, only child. They found her. She was alive and everything. But she had something like 75 to 100 men in and out just in that time frame. They had her and they was moving her. Just moving her from this hotel to that hotel or whatever, and had men in and out just like that. It's out there, y'all. And I know this may not be the place, but Pastor gave me the platform. I don't know how to tell it, but how I tell it. You know, and you got to be real. It got to be real with what I'm saying, because I need y'all not to visualize that, but understand if a child goes missing every 40 seconds, that could be you, or it could be you. Or it could be you. It's just by the grace of God, it's not. I never thought my son would be making up that number, but he did. So it could be you. You got to understand and you got to listen. Now, parents, you can educate yourself. You can educate yourself. You go online and go on NetSmart. NetSmart have so many, they got the videos. They got the teenager videos. They got the little children videos. They got all kind of things where you can educate yourself. And I'm an advocate in that. Educate yourself so you can educate somebody else. Pastor Stacy is at a school. He's at a college. Well, trafficking and sexting and all that is going on right there in his face. All that is going on right there. Now, people think that sometimes trafficking, they take you away. They do, but some kids are being trafficked right at home, and some kids are being sexting. Because what happens is, you send a picture yourself, then the picture goes on the internet, right? Once the picture goes on the internet, well, now that the person that you done sent that picture to, he got something on you. So now he's gonna tell you, hey, look, either you send me more pictures, or I'm gonna post this to your schools, and I'm gonna send it to your parents, and what you gonna do? You're going to send them more pictures. And you're going to send them, and they're going to keep on, and they're going to keep on. You're scared to tell your parents, because they already told you that if you tell your parents, they're going to kill them. And they got pictures of your parents. They got pictures of all this. So now that's why I'm trying to tell you, before you do, don't. But if you did, let's fix that. Let's fix that. It's fixable. But if you haven't, if you're thinking about it, if you know your friends is doing it, if all of these things here, if you met somebody and you know, even in school, and you know, and you like this boy and y'all talking or whatever, he asking for pictures, and they do, and you decide since y'all so close and everything, and he love you and you love him and blah, 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 so now you're going to send him a picture. Now he got your picture, and if he decide to share your picture, and they do, they share the pictures. They tell you it's just me and you. It's just me and you know. when they sharing that picture, now you then put yourself in a position. What you gonna do? You can't tell mama, because now they saying, okay, now you go to school and they laughing at you, because guess what? Everybody done saw your picture. That actually happened. The scenarios, I'm not building scenarios in my head. These things actually happen. And one of the children that had to deal with that, and they laughing at him at school, and they saying, oh, I saw yo this and this, all this his stuff, the child went and killed himself. So what I'm saying is, if you did, we could take care of that. Parents, if your children come to you and they've done something like that, please, please don't beat them down about it. I know it may be a shock. I know you may be disappointed and all that, but don't beat them down about it. Give them the opportunity to show them who you really are as a parent. Because sometimes it's scary out there when we make decisions on our own. And then because we make decisions and did something that our parents have told us not to do, now we can't go to our parents because they done told us not to do it, and we don't have anybody else to go to. So we take that and we deal with it alone, and that's what causes us to make other decisions and other decisions. Our children are dependent on us, and we should be in this community right here. They should know if they can't go, if Rachel can't go come to you, she can go to Paul, she can go to Eric, or she can go to Pastor, and it's still okay. Because what we don't want them to do is make other decisions based on that decision that they made that was wrong, but now they're making decisions because they don't know what to do. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? We got to give our children, if I don't say nothing else, and if you don't get anything else out of what I'm saying, parents, please give your children a safe place to fall. Because if you don't, they're going to make some decisions. I did. I made those decisions, and I was that parent that didn't get my kids a safe place to fall, and I jacked up some things with my kids, for real. And they'll tell you the same thing. I didn't do some things with my kids because I didn't know what to do, you know. But we got to pray for them, and we got to cover them, and we got to ask God to cover them. And when it got to the point where I didn't know what to do because they was acting out so much, some things I didn't even address because I knew had I addressed it, it wasn't going to be good. So I would just table that, and I just, you know, we're just going to pray about that one. And some days I still didn't do anything. I just didn't even, God never told me what to do, so I just kind of let that one roll. But they knew, you know, they knew. But I'm just saying, we don't want our children to grow up like that. Now, hindsight 2020, I look back, I wished I could take some things back. And I knew my mom wished the same thing with me. Why she acting like this? Why she do? I started acting out so much because I was molested. Mom didn't know I was molested, but I started acting out. And then when I started acting out, what did she decide to do? Take me to juvenile. That was her thing. Let me get her out of my house, so I'm going to take her to juvenile. And that's what she did. She took me to juvenile. And when juvenile wouldn't take me, and I mean, she told me everything. I think she even made up some stuff for me not to go back home, you know. But they wouldn't take me. So I had to go back. Now I'm feeling like my mama don't want me. Guess what I'm finna do? I'm sure enough finna act out now. Decision after decision after decision. Bad decisions. We don't want our children like that. It's so much out there, and I really want y'all to understand that gaming, be careful with that. Be careful with that. I know that's what we do now because kids aren't outside a lot now like we used to be in our time, but you can't be outside. They're everywhere. But they're attacking you in that gaming too. They're attacking you in that. So parents, you can go on and find out what they gaming. You can find out who they texting. All that in that gaming, that's open. It's open for all that. Y'all can find out. You know, you can find out, but you got to take out the time to really find out what your children are doing. And not because you want to catch them in something, because you love them. And you just want to make sure they okay. And sometimes when we loving our kids, we got to love them enough to risk their anger to make sure they okay. We got to love them enough because I want somebody to love me enough to risk my anger. Check me. With our children, the same way, we got to love them enough to do that. So you gotta, if they cutting up, leave the door open. You don't get to shut your door in my house. I want to know what you're doing. I didn't even allow my kids to have TVs in their room. Only TV was in the living room because I didn't have a lot because I worked a lot and I didn't have a lot of control with a lot of things. But they wasn't allowed, and I didn't give them a cell phone. Now, did they go to work and get their own cell phones? They surely did, but I didn't give them one. But when the TV was in the living room, and that was the only place that they could come and watch TV, I did what I could, you understand? So what I want to say is, because I know my time is winding up, but what I want to say is, children, listen to your parents. It's important. Main thing, the main nugget from this right here is your decisions that you make. Sometimes you can't take them back. Even though you get better. And I know this is a tie, for instance, but I'm going to use it in a way because I like it, so I'm going to use it. You in an accident, doing something you ain't got no business doing. Your mama told you couldn't go, you went whatever, you didn't get in an accident, and maybe your hand got cut off or something like that there. Now you say, is your hand going to grow back? Absolutely not. It's not. I'm saying some of the things that you do, you cannot take back. You got to face it, and you got to deal with the consequences of that. But you don't have to say, hey, just listen to my mom. You don't have to. If you just listen, because tell me this, what do your mom or dad want for you to tell you all of this stuff? Why is it benefiting them or is it benefiting you? To keep you safe, it's benefiting you. It's benefiting you. I got parents that got one child and their child missing. I got parents got one child and one went missing, and one went out there and the other one that went out there and did something that the parents told them not to do, and they deceased. It's benefiting you. It's benefiting us because we want what's best for you. We want to see y'all grow up, and we want to see. But it's a cruel, cruel world out there, and we cannot go out there naive and not know. It is our job to let them know. It's our job to make sure they know everything, and it's y'all job to listen to your parents. We all got a part to play in this, okay?
Let's, thank you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. This is sobering and honest. And I don't know all of the children that you were talking about, but it touches me. Y'all know it got a pastor that's a crybaby anyway. And some of the things that we do out of love. And I appreciate so many things that you said. And for us as parents, there may be some things that we did or that we didn't do. But what I know is we do the best we can until we get more information. And then when we know better, we do better. Some things, like you said, we can't go back and undo. And the same thing with our children. You do the best you can, but remember, your parents are not against you. They're trying to help you. And just because they give you boundaries doesn't mean that they're trying to destroy you or make your pleasure less necessarily. They're trying to help you and keep you safe. And what you said about providing a safe place for our children to fall, because guess what? They will fall. They're going to. And y'all have heard me say this before, you can't beat the Holy Ghost into them. You can't beat the Holy Ghost into them. They're going to make mistakes. So, thank you. May the Lord help you. May the Lord bless you. May heaven smile upon you until we meet again. God bless you. I know that it is past.